FoodPolicyUS is pleased to present this educational series highlighting issues and debates in our food system. Join us each week as we hear from leaders and innovators around the table.
One of the things that is interesting about human beings' relationships to food is that food is, although necessary for sustenance, for nutrition, for us to survive as human beings, there's also a cultural and social dimension of food. Table fellowship, the way in which food and drink bring people together to celebrate together, to build bonds, to build the collective social life. In fact, one of the fundamental ways in which sociability happens in human cultures is through eating and drinking together. So fellowship becomes, or table fellowship, becomes one of the foundational ways in which societies emerge and those social bonds are created and maintained. Ethicists have talked about this difference between eating and what we might call feeding, or eating like an animal, derogatory way of thinking about our engagement with food. That eating as a human being, or essen as the Germans would say, would be eating in this social, cultural context where we're not just fulfilling this human need, this desire to intake something in the world to provide us nutrition and energy, but eating as a social, organized, cultural activity, versus fressen, eating like an animal, or feeding, which is just to satisfy one's urges and desires. And we can broaden this out and think about the different ways in which we approach food and we approach dining and we approach eating with one another. Are we eating in community with one another, or are we eating just to satisfy a basic animalistic urge?